Between the late 2000s and early 2010s, AMC seemed like the king of television. Mad Men got the ball rolling in 2007, then Breaking Bad kept the momentum going in 2008, and finally, The Walking Dead established AMC as one of the best places to watch television in 2010. Even if the content on the network isn't quite what it used to be, it's still ushered in a new age of television and popularized high-concept dramas with overarching narratives on television. What if AMC was also quietly promoting another idea that would surge to prominence in the early 2010s? Around the same time that the American Movie Classics channel started dominating television, Disney was forever changing the world of cinema. 2008's Iron Man and the following films under the Marvel banner made superheroes a cornerstone of the modern movie landscape and brought the idea of a shared fictional universe into the mainstream. Following the success of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, dozens of other outlets tried to create their own shared universe to varying degrees of success. Sorry, the Dark Universe didn't pan out for horror fans, or maybe it's for the best that every public domain horror story didn't get an action movie makeover. AMC, though, seems to have quietly cashed in on this idea. While it doesn't seem like every AMC original happens in the same universe, it is a definitive fact that Breaking Bad is a prequel to The Walking Dead. Seriously, Walter White and Rick Grimes could have bumped into each other if they ever happened to be on the same side of the country. There is a ton of evidence in both shows to prove this is the case, not to mention that other networks are doing similar things with their own programs. Especially considering the comments made by both people behind each show, there is no denying that Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead take place in the same universe. There are tons of little hints in both The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad that suggest the two take place in the same universe. One of these first winks to the audience appeared in the Breaking Bad episode Cornered, which premiered on August 21st, 2011. In this episode, Bryan Cranston's Walter White buys his son a car. While Walter Jr., played by R.J. Mitty, is thrilled to have a vehicle of his own, Anna Gunn's Skyler disapproves of this purchase and demands that Walter return the car to the dealership. Instead, Walter takes it for a joyride and ends up wrecking it pretty badly. As Walter thoroughly does not care about the repercussions of his actions at this point in the series, he shoves any identifying documentation about the car into its fuel tank, lights the papers on fire, and watches from afar as the car burns. While this moment is a testament to how little Walter White cares about abiding by the rules of society, the connection to The Walking Dead in this moment is the fact that the car Walter bought and then destroyed is a distinctive 2009 Dodge Challenger. This is the very same car that Stephen Yeun's Glenn Rhee used to distract a herd of walkers in the November 7, 2010 episode Guts. After breaking into the vehicle and triggering its alarm, Glenn used the hot rod to lure away a massive number of zombies so that his fellow survivors could escape from Atlanta. Okay, maybe that's a little more of a fun reference than definitive proof that The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad exist in the same universe, or more cynically, a way for AMC to cut down on production costs. However, there are so many of these references that it's impossible to deny that these shows are made with the other series in mind. One of the latest and biggest Breaking Bad references to appear in the Walking Dead series happened in the Fear the Walking Dead episode, Minotaur. In this episode of Fear the Walking Dead, which takes place in the same universe as The Walking Dead but follows a different collection of characters, the song Negro y Azul, the Ballad of Heisenberg, is played over the intercom of a post-apocalyptic marketplace. This is noteworthy, because while that is a real song that you can go and listen to right now, it was created within the universe of Breaking Bad and is about Walter White's exploits. So, kind of like if the cartoon band The Archies wrote about meth dealers. The existence of Negro y Azul in the Fear of the Walking Dead all but confirms that the two shows exist in the same universe. They only exist because of Walter White's infamy and the drug lord Heisenberg, and wouldn't exist in a world without him. Well, either that or whoever makes the playlist for this shopping center is a big fan of Breaking Bad, which exists as a show within the universe of The Walking Dead. That's ridiculously convoluted though, and there's way more evidence to suggest that the shows simply take place in the same timeline. There are Easter eggs that appear in the original Walking Dead series that connect the two universes as well. In the second episode of the show's second season, titled Bloodletting, Norman Reedus' Daryl digs around his brother's motorcycle's saddlebags for antibiotics to help his wounded friend. During this segment, we also briefly see a shot of some distinctive blue crystals in a plastic baggie. This, of course, is the blue sky meth that made Walter White a drug kingpin in Breaking Bad. The presence of blue sky in The Walking Dead all but proves that the shows exist in the same universe. We also get another hint at these characters sharing the same world and even interacting in Season 4, Episode 15, Still. Here, Daryl describes his brother Meryl's drug dealer as a skinny white guy tweaker. He also implies that the dealer has a particular affinity for an insult. This description matches perfectly with Aaron Paul's Jesse Pinkman, who was Walter White's partner in crime in Breaking Bad. This description fits Jesse Pinkman to a T and cements the fact that Breaking Bad is a prequel to The Walking Dead. It makes a lot of sense for Breaking Bad to be a prequel to The Walking Dead after all. From a production standpoint, it can make things a lot easier to reuse sets and props, and crossover events historically generate a high number of viewers. Shared universes are huge moneymakers for companies like AMC, and plenty of other networks are also doing it. Famously, some of Fox's best-performing animated series all exist within the same universe. The Seth MacFarlane animated series Family Guy, American Dad, and The Cleveland Show used to frequently reference each other. Well, that's until Warner Media bought the rights to American Dad and started airing new episodes on TBS, and then The Cleveland Show got canceled. Family Guy and The Simpsons also had a massive crossover special a few years back, and the terrific Bob's Burgers is mentioned several times in Family Guy. Furthermore, most of Bob's Burgers' main cast appears in an episode of Archer, which is also owned by Fox. And the episode even jokes about how both titular characters are voiced by H. John Benjamin. The CW also has several superhero shows that share the same universe. Known as the Arrowverse, shows like Arrow, The Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow all exist within the same timeline, and characters from one show regularly appear in another. Most surprisingly, Supergirl's migration from CBS to the CW was even hinted at during a crossover event, in which The Flash used his powers to travel to Supergirl's reality. Not only does this shared universe allow for some truly amazing storytelling, it also capitalizes on the overlapping nature of the Arrowverse's comic book source material. Of course, shared universes and crossovers are also a fantastic opportunity for a rights holder to increase viewership and move merchandise. The original She-Ra cartoon came into being as a He-Man and the Masters of the Universe spin-off because the company that owned them, Mattel, wanted to sell new toys without having to market a wholly new brand. The Disney Channel also got into the shared universe game long before the Marvel Cinematic Universe with the special That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana. This crossover event established that some of the Disney Channel's most popular series of all took place in the same universe and blew the minds of every kid between the ages of 8 and 12 back in 2006. It is immensely profitable for a television network to have their shows take place in the same universe. This allows them to more easily create events that draw in high viewership and increase engagement because viewers think they will have to keep up with every show to follow all the storylines in the one they are most interested in. While these shared universes in media do have the potential to stupendously backfire if they are poorly thought out or haphazardly executed, it can greatly benefit a network if their shows share a timeline and occasionally overlap. It's entirely in AMC's best interest for The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad to take place in the same universe. Every time another piece of evidence pops up connecting the two shows, a slew of articles and analysis videos pop up that only increase the awareness of the show in public consciousness. This essentially creates free advertising, encouraging people to continue watching one of the shows and finally check out the other. Sure, this shared universe isn't as obvious as that of the other networks, but it is still there and further increases the show's popularity. It may have not always been the plan for Breaking Bad to be a prequel to The Walking Dead, but the fact that the two share a universe now has only helped both series and made AMC a bunch of money. There's also another factor that completely confirms that Breaking Bad is a prequel to The Walking Dead. This piece of information not only proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad take place in the same universe, but it will completely shut down any arguments or theories that suggest the two do not happen in the same timeline. That undeniable, unshakable fact is, the creators of The Walking Dead confirmed this theory to be true. The showrunner for Fear the Walking Dead, Dave Erickson, confirmed that the placement of the song Negro y Azul, the Ballad of Heisenberg, was placed there intentionally. The song, which originates from Breaking Bad and would only widely be played in that universe, was knowingly placed in Fear the Walking Dead and denotes that these shows take place in the same universe. Now, the only question that remains is, will the shows continue to overlap as they go on? It would be incredible if AMC leaned more heavily into the fact that these two shows take place in the same universe. It would be a lot of fun to see a character from Breaking Bad appear in either of the Walking Dead shows, or something like a zombified Walter White pop up in the upcoming episode. Then again, there are also plenty of ways for the individuals' series to more substantially converge. Perhaps the upcoming Breaking Bad film will feature an ending or post-credits scene overtly shows the beginnings of the zombie apocalypse that kicked off the events of The Walking Dead. Not much is known about the film as of yet, other than it will focus on Jesse Pinkman and appear on both AMC and Netflix, so just about anything is possible. We may even see one of the oldest theories in the Walking Dead fandom prove true, and it turns out that Walter White's Blue Sky Meth is responsible for the massive zombie outbreak that brought the world to its knees. Even if that would be a bit of a surprise twist and a bit more science fiction heavy than what usually appears in Breaking Bad, this reveal would still be pretty amazing. Alternatively, it would be incredible if actual living creatures from Breaking Bad began to appear in future episodes of The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead. Especially with the recent time skip in The Walking Dead, now is the perfect time to introduce some familiar faces and see how they got into this totally new situation. The Walking Dead film trilogy centering on Andrew Lincoln's Rick Grimes may also prove to be a great opportunity to introduce a few Breaking Bad characters into the post-apocalyptic story. Introducing these time-tested characters could also do wonders for shaking things up in The Walking Dead, as the show isn't in the best of places right now. It's difficult for any television program to maintain a high level of quality after 9 seasons, while also keeping things from feeling repetitive. While it still garners significant viewership with every episode, The Walking Dead isn't what it used to be. Adding characters from Breaking Bad to the show, or even just playing around with the idea that the events of Breaking Bad also happened in the Walking Dead timeline, could really spice things up and make the show feel fun and surprising again. It would be great if either series directly acknowledged that Breaking Bad is a prequel to The Walking Dead, simply because it would be so out of character for either of them. Both shows are usually so intense and serious, that can borderline on melodramatic. These two properties sharing a universe is inherently goofy, and seeing drug bosses interact with zombie slayers would be a genuine treat and add some much-needed levity to both shows. It's pretty amazing that one of the biggest television fan theories in recent memory proved to be true, and that Breaking Bad is a prequel to The Walking Dead. Sure, it was hinted at here and there and always made sense for AMC to have some of their best shows take place in the same continuity, but it's still amazing that the creators of each program were so responsive to the fans of their shows. Both of these programs are some of the most impactful to ever grace television, and together they could form something incredibly weird and beautiful. Hopefully we will see exactly what that looks like before too many shows surpass the likes of Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead. What do you think about this theory, though? Are you still not convinced, or are you going to push it even further and say that more programs in AMC fit into a broader universe? Please let us know in the comments down below, and while you're down there, hit that subscribe button and the bell. Once you do that, you'll get a notification every time Behind the Screen puts out a new video analyzing and critiquing some of the best movies and TV shows around. Thanks so much for watching.